This right here is my first big prep haul of the year, and what it is actual PPE, okay? So it's not this, which, and this is better, but it's not this either, and it's not this, but this is something. It'll at least get you somewhere, and this will probably kill you and is full of asbestos, but this is the actual PPE that I decided to put together to protect myself and protect my family from the possibility of other pandemics, the possibility of chemicals and biological agents that could be used against us. And what we're going to do in this video today is talk about what I put together here in the sense of a CBRN kit for SHTF and some of the things that I decided I needed based on information that was available to me and where I acquired some of this gear. Hey everybody, it's Magic Prepper, and today we're talking about my CBRN SHTF gear. All the stuff I put together for a PPE kit to help protect me and my family during any kind of an emergency related to anything in the CBRN category: chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. These are all threats that are out there all the time, and they're definitely something that's been front and center ever since last year when the pandemic wreaked havoc around the world, especially in the sense of the economy. But that being said, it's still important to prepare for these things and not allow what happened last year to cloud your judgment in the sense of being better prepared for other possible future events that could be more deadly or more infectious or who knows what. And understand that proper PPE gear, proper CBRN protective gear is not cheap. However, what you're investing in is something that could save your life at some point, and you don't want to risk your survival on shifty gear that might not actually do the job you think it will and find yourself in a really bad situation, okay? Now, if you're preparing for SHTF, you're worried about CBRN threats of all kinds, and you don't want to trust your shifty gear, then hit the subscribe button below, because I'm trying to keep getting more information out there for everybody, and I'm trying to help you guys at least follow me on my path of putting together more and more preps so that we're all more ready for whatever might come or whatever might happen here in the future, okay? So, that being said, I am not an expert on anything CBRN related. However, I do have the internet, and I have used the internet to try to find the right gear and the right materials to buy in order to be better protected, okay? Now, we're not gonna go over some of the other stuff out there, like the iostat tablets and everything else related to things like nuclear threats and everything like that, but this is just the wearable PPE gear that you might need in an SHTF scenario in order to just walk out your front door. So here, what you're seeing is the gear I got from myself and my wife, because the most likely scenario would be us having to venture out for possible who knows what, and hopefully keeping the kids inside for as long as possible to avoid any kind of complications, all right? Now, I do want to say that I had to piece all of this together with different outlets in order to find everything I actually wanted, okay? I couldn't just easily log into one website and find exactly what I needed. So some of this stuff came from eBay, some of this stuff I had to grab off Amazon, and I did actually get a big chunk of this from Canadian Preparedness, which is awesome. So if you know Canadian Prepper on YouTube, which I'm sure you do, Canadian Preparedness is his website where he sells survival gear of all kinds, and I did buy a large chunk of what you see here on the table from his site in order to help support another YouTuber, which I think is awesome, but at the same time, get the actual gear I needed because I couldn't find it in other places, okay? So it was actually nice to be able to find it on his website when it was sold out in many other facets. So keep that in mind if you're looking to put together some of this stuff, okay? And I'll link his site down below just so you guys, if you don't know, now you know, okay? So, that being said, what exactly do we have here? Let's start with the most important part of this SHTF CBRN protective gear kit, which is obviously going to be the gas masks, okay? So here we have the Mira Safety CM6M gas mask. It's a full face shield gas mask, and it's made with bromobutyl rubber, which is a rubber that is highly impermeable and is very resistant to things like sarin and mustard gas, which not all rubbers are made the same. And you'll understand that in some masks and some other PPE style materials, you can't actually trust them to seal properly and to actually protect you from things like mustard gas. But there could be a situation in the future where that's a real threat. We've seen things like sarin gas used in other parts of the world in recent history. And imagine if you have a mask like the one I threw over here earlier that wouldn't actually protect you from that, but you walk out your front door thinking it will. And so when I say that this stuff isn't necessarily cheap, it's because if you want to make sure you have what will actually protect you from just about anything that could be out there. You have to invest in proper materials like the bromobutyl rubber that's actually going to protect you from things like sarin gas, okay? So that's one thing I like about this. It has the full face shield visor, which is nice for having better peripheral view, and you can see a full panoramic field of view in case you're in a dangerous situation you don't want to be snuck up on, or you don't want to limit your ability to see. It is very strong and very durable. It'll protect your face from a lot of different projectiles, or if somebody gets up close and personal, who knows? And it also comes with a hydration kit, which you see right here, okay? And now I'm gonna start knocking stuff over, but that's how these videos usually go, so whatever, okay? So, and this one does have the hydration tube right here on the side. It's got like a little hook for it to hang on, and it connects to this canteen so that you can drink while you're still wearing your mask safely and keep hydrated in case you're in a stressful scenario, okay? So this is the gas mask I chose for myself. This is a large. You have to make sure the sizing is correct. And this has a 20-year shelf life. So understand that rubber does degrade over time, and if you find products like this one where it's going to last 20 years on the shelf, if you never ever use it, great. But if you do, at one point in time during those 20 years, you're still good to go. And to me, preps like that are a much better investment because you don't have to replace them as often, and you know if you ever do need to use them, you don't have to worry about whether or not you can trust it, okay? This isn't like canned food where we all know the expiration date might be more of a suggestion than a reality. This is basically you trusting your life to this item when you walk out your front door. And understand that, yes, you can buy surplus masks, you can buy all kinds of things off secondhand stores or whatever when it comes to gas masks, but just like firearms, when you're talking about wanting to protect yourself from something that's a deadly threat, do you buy something that's cheap over the counter that you've never tested before and aren't sure even if it'll even fire? Or do you buy something that is ready to go and has the track record to prove that it's a capable piece of equipment? Keep that in mind when you're buying things like gas masks, because after doing some research, I found that that's really what you have to do. And that's why it took me so long to put some of this together, because it's not very cheap. It does require a bit of an investment. And honestly, I didn't have money just laying around to buy a bunch of gas masks with. But I worked on it, and here we are. So I'm trying to share my journey here with you. Okay, so now moving on from that, okay, we also have the SGE 400/3 BB, okay? Now, real quick, I do want to mention both of these masks, including the mirror safety right here, have the 40mm NATO threads. That's something you want to look for because all of the standardized and modern filter cartridges use the 40mm thread pattern, so that way if different armies are working together in different parts of the world and they have to utilize their masks, they can use the same filter systems and not worry about who's as compatible or not. So it's something that you want to make sure you have as a prepper, saying, okay, well, I want to make sure I have the most modular and compatible system there is, and you want the 40mm threads to be able to do that, okay? So both of these have that. The SGE 400/3 BB is the same exact thing as the SGE 400/3, except for the BB designates that it's the butyl rubber again. So you need the butyl rubber if you want to have the maximum protection. Like I said, it's what really makes the difference between things like mustard gas or sarin gas being a threat to you when you're wearing this. Now, most people don't have a feeling of, okay, chemical warfare agents are going to be used in my area and I need to have the maximum protection against that. Of course, mostly what we're worried about in this day and age is things related to biological threats, right? Of course, maybe even nuclear threats, but still, it's not that much more expensive, and this guarantees more of a protection layer against things like those gases rather than not having that protection at all. And that's something I think we should all keep in mind when you're spending your money on things like this. You want to make sure that it goes to the right place. So this one is actually for my wife. This comes in a small size, so I decided, her tinier face needed something like this instead of what I got here with the mirror safety. And I also wanted to get this other brand to kind of just test it out, see if it's just as comfortable or works just as well as this one. I'll be asking my wife to try it on, wear it a little bit, get used to the concept of it, understand how to use it, so that way if we ever need it in an emergency, she can utilize it properly, and then we can discuss the differences of each system. This one is optionally included with a hydration system, and I did not get that for this one quite yet because I couldn't find it at the time. Like I said, I had to piece all this together because it's hard to find some of this equipment nowadays. But either way, you can get the hydration kit just like this one has here with the canteen and the straw. And at the same time, it has the 3 different areas that you can actually thread the filter onto. And the mirror mask only has the 2 sides. And now that's obviously for the tactical aspect of being able to lean from one side to the other while utilizing optics or iron sights on something if you need to. But this gives you those options as well, and actually has just as wide, if not a bigger face shield on it that gives you a really big panoramic view, and it's tested to be extra durable and strong against projectiles to make sure that if, let's say you're in some kind of a demolition zone where a building falls down and there's a lot of debris coming at you, it'll at least protect your face and eyes from a lot of that versus not having it at all, okay? So that's definitely something that you need to keep in mind. Both of these are very similar products, but they are very high-end. They're very well known to have good reputations. They're suggested, I believe Canadian Prepper suggested this model on his channel as being the best gas mask for preppers. I wanted to try the Mirror Safety, which also has great reviews and great ratings as well. And honestly, both of them are gonna do the job as long as you get the BB so you can get the butyl rubber and protect yourself from mustard gas, okay? So that's my thought process with the gas masks. You can get cheaper ones. You can get ones that are specifically made for just viruses or for just tear gas or just things of that nature. But for me, when it comes to preparedness, I'm looking for the things that get me the most well-rounded amount of preparedness as possible. And that's what these two masks do for me. They basically give me the maximum protection I can get without going through the roof to those crazy radioactive suits like in Back to the Future. I don't have doc money, so I can't really do that. But moving on from there, okay, so what's the next most important part of a gas mask or even a CBRN SHTF kit? That's gonna be the filters, of course, because the filters are what actually does the work when it comes to protecting you in the sense of filtering out any of the dangerous agents that are out there in the air that you're trying to protect yourself from, okay? So now, understand that there's filters all over the place. You can get all different kinds of filters, and these are the options I chose just for this particular kit because I wanted to make sure that they had longevity and they had the ability to basically protect you from anything that could be out there that you're worried about, okay? So understand these are the Mirror Safety NBC 77 SOF filters, okay? They're 40 millimeter threads. Like I said, you want to get that NATO standard, and these will protect you from any CBRN agent out there. Well, at least any known agent, okay? Of course, if somebody creates something crazy, some kind of drastic concoction that's gonna turn you inside out in the matter of a second, then of course, you know, this might not work for it because it doesn't know it exists yet. But what I'm saying is that basically this will cover everything you could think of when it comes to protecting yourself in the sense of filtering out your air supply. So very important to have high quality filters, and these are more expensive because these also have a 20-year shelf life. Just like the gas masks themselves, the 20-year shelf life on these filters gives me the confidence to say, okay, look, these are sitting on the shelf. If I never use them, excellent. That's not the point of preparedness. We want to make sure that we have what we need if we need it, but if we never need it, that's also a blessing, isn't it? Now, in 19 years, if I need this filter, it's still good to go. Many filters out there, even some on the market new, are actually already expired. Okay, so watch out who you buy your filters from. If you buy them from eBay or if you buy them from some random website, then be careful because they can sometimes send you expired filters. So you need to double check that information and you need to make sure you buy from a reputable source. But these filters particularly have huge shelf lives and will protect you from just about everything that could be out there. So that's why I chose those to go with these masks. 20-year shelf life, 20-year shelf life, butyl rubber, everything's protected. These filters will deal with things like mustard gas and sarin gas. Everything's protected, okay? So you see what I'm saying. You want to make sure everything lines up so that it protects you from the things that everything is advertised to be able to do. Now, I wanted to give you guys some other options on filters. I ordered 2 other filters. They're still not here. Guy, I sent you that message. You know who you are. Anyhow, the other good filters that are out there, Mirror Safety also makes a more affordable filter that has a smaller shelf life but has about the same amount of protection as these filters, and it's the Dot Pro 320. So you can look that up. It's about half the price, but it only has a 5-year shelf life instead of a 20. So still a great way to go, still get you in the door, and the reason I ordered some is so that I can actually use those and test out the masks and actually get out there and wear them and see how it is to be operating under the condition of a gas mask, see if I can even use optics or anything like that in the process, and not utilize 20-year shelf life sealed filters that I really just would like to keep as much as I can in this current form, so that way they last as long as possible, okay? So, but those are a good option. Now, there's another option out there, and that is gonna be the Particle Max P3 virus filters. The Particle Max P3 filters are just for biological agents. They won't really protect you against chemicals or radiological components of any kind, but if you're talking about just worrying about a pandemic and you're worried about things like what happened in 2020 and things that are out there, who knows, multiple strains or things that are more infectious or more fatal could start coming our way. We all know that's definitely a possibility at this point in time. Well, Those will get you through. They're very cheap in the sense of being a lot less expensive than these because they have one purpose, which is just for viruses, just for biological threats. And it's a little bit lighter and a little bit smaller, so even when you're wearing the mask, it's easier to wear it and have it on for a longer period of time. So those are still good to have as well, especially if your main concern is a virus of some kind or a biological threat, okay? So just wanted to give you some other options. All those filters have 40mm threads, and of course these Mira Safety SOF 77 MBC filters are going to last 20 years and probably are the ones that will get the job done for just about every single thing you can think of. So if you want to just buy one filter and not have to worry about it ever again, these are a good way to go. Okay, so moving on from there, okay? And I'm trying to keep my notes going because a lot of stuff here, my mind is just kind of like all over the place with this. But one of the next most important parts of any CBRN or SHTF kit when it comes to PPE is going to be your hazmat suit, right? Everybody's got to have a good hazmat suit. You can't go wrong with a solid hazmat suit. But what do you get? What kind do you get? Well, what's even out there, okay? So let me show this to you, okay? So here I have a packaged hazmat suit, and if you go on eBay, you can actually get hazmat suits that are taken out of a case of like anywhere from 6 to 12 or even more. There's cases of them that you usually would have to order, but you can get individual suits from sellers on eBay. So of course it costs more per unit doing it that way, but it'll save you money if you can only afford one right now instead of buying a case. So that's something that I did just so I could get some things in the door and get started with this kit and not have to buy a case of these. But this is the Dupont Chem CPF3 suit, and I'll show you this one, or at least as much as you can see. Let's see here. This is mine, which means it's gigantic. This is an extra large, which I feel like I'll look like Grimace from McDonald's when I'm wearing this thing, but either way. There we go. Chem CPF3 by Dupont. Now, what's great about this suit is that it's got the elasticity around the hood. It also has boots built in. So with the feet built in, you don't have to have boot covers. You can just wear this right over your shoes. Of course, in the long run, especially if you're, let's say, having to go out and about wearing the suit, I have a feeling it's going to degrade pretty badly on the bottom. So you might want to opt for ones that just have the elasticity around the ankles and then wear boot covers. That's up to you. Of course, if you're going to get boot covers, get Butyl ones. But for right now, I just ordered the suits that have the built-in foot covers, so that way it is one less expense in order to save a little bit of money and have an all-in-one package if possible. Now, these also have the elasticity around the cuff, as you can see right here. So everything is sealed off as best it can. Now, I'm gonna roll in some screenshots here of the Dupont labeling for their hazmat suits because they have ratings based on each suit of what it can or can't handle, okay? And like I said, this is the CPF3 Chem suit. And the reason I'm showing you that is because I gotta get this thing out of here. Okay, it's over there. All right, the reason I'm showing you that is because there's a certain level of suit that you want to look for that's going to protect you from a bunch of different possibilities out there, and that suit has a good mix of being moderate on the protection scale, but getting in the door with everything that you're really concerned about, especially in the sense of PPE and especially in the sense of a pandemic of some sort, okay? So let me get to my notes real quick. I just want to make sure, okay, I say this right. But so the Chem CPF3 suit is rated for bloodborne pathogens, biohazards, light and moderate chemical splashes, and aerosols, of course. And then it's also rated against chem, bio, and warfare agents. So it will protect you from things like sarin and mustard gas. And that's coming directly from DuPont, telling you that it will rate to protect you from those things. So like I said, you got the butyl rubber, butyl. You got the excellent filter. You got the hazmat suit that can protect you from the things that the butyl's needed for, the mustard gas, the sarin gas. So, and as you can tell, all the bloodborne pathogens and everything else is also protected. So, excellent suit that gets you in the door that has protection above and beyond what you might need for a pandemic, but will still protect you from things that you might need in the sense of chemical warfare, okay? So, that was my thought process on the suit. I will show you guys the charts, which I'm pretty sure I already have been doing, or who knows what by now, but you'll see what the ratings are for different suits on there, and you'll see where this one actually sits and that it does offer that level of protection you need. And from what I could find anyway, in the sense of buying singles off of eBay, is that they weren't as expensive as some of the other suits, but they still had the same protection. So that's where my thought process went. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm sure you guys already are saying things in the comments about everything I'm wrong about. Totally fine. Okay, moving on from there. One of the last pieces of this kit that you need, because like I said, the shoes were sealed on this one. You got the suit, got the mask, got the filter, you need gloves, okay? And these are Butyl Gloves. So these are made by North. These are North Butyl Gloves. These are extra larges. And just like the other items here on the list, you get the Butyl because it's highly impermeable. It's not gonna allow things like viruses or blood or human excrement in through the material, and it will even protect you from things like the gas agents, as long as, of course, you don't expose yourself to it after the fact. But even so, once you have the elasticity of the hazmat suit gripping around your wrist right here, you're gonna be able to be protected, and it's gonna do the job. And you get to look like Darth Vader in the meantime, so there you go. But don't forget the gloves. These are also purchased off of eBay as singles. Like I said, I had to search around for all this stuff. This wasn't something that was just, www.ppe.com and I just got everything I needed in one place. That's not how it works. And especially nowadays when everyone's buying just whatever to try to protect themselves, piece it together. But by buying these on eBay, they came in individual packages like this one. And it even said right from the seller, this is straight up from a paramedic's PPE kit. And I guess they're tearing apart their PPE kits they didn't use, or maybe they had a bunch of extra ones, or who knows what happened there. It's not for me to know. All I know is I was able to buy this because of that, and it's from a medical professional's personal protection equipment kit. So this is what they're using to protect themselves from the virus, and it's what you can use to protect yourself as well. So don't forget the butyl part of it though. You don't want to just go buy nitrile gloves. You don't want to buy vinyl gloves. You want to get the butyl rubber so it'll protect you from things like even sarin gas. Okay, moving on from there. You have to be cool about PPE. You can't just wear PPE out, okay? You can't just not be tactical either, okay? We all know that already. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is that if there is some kind of a SHTF scenario, a big time, without rule of law, grid down, post-nuclear war scenario, or who knows what, where things are rough, and you gotta wear a hazmat suit, and you gotta wear a gas mask, and you gotta wear an AK, that's gonna be a weird position to find yourself in. But if that ever comes to fruition, and especially if you want to ever train or practice for the use of gas masks in any kind of a tactical application, then you're going to want a way to carry it on you without always having to wear it. And that's what these are. These are drop leg pouches for gas masks. And I thought having one for myself and my wife would just be worth the investment because they're not that expensive. And I actually found this one used. Wait a second. I found this one used. And then I found this one on eBay, and this one was used on Amazon. And yeah, I buy stuff on Amazon sometimes. I know you guys hate it once in a while, but if I can find this for $28 when it's usually $60, I'm still gonna buy it, I'm sorry. But what I'm saying is that these are drop leg pouches so that you wear them on your belt against your thigh, and you can have your gas mask and one filter in here, and you're ready to throw on your PPE at any point in time, depending on what the situation is. So obviously in tactical applications, you're talking about things like tear gas and stuff like that being an issue, but who knows what the real situation might be. And as people are worried about preparedness, especially in the sense of a disaster or emergency scenario, being able to have a gas mask on your belt, strapped to your leg, and accessible at any time while you're out the door and not in your safety castle zone, then you gotta have a drop leg pouch for it. And for me, these were a low-key investment for something that I might never use, but will be good to have in case I do find myself ever in a situation where using a gas mask regularly is important. And it is nice to not always have to have it on like some kind of a strap, right? Where you have the ability to wear it kind of like a pouch, but against your leg and off a belt, it's gonna be a lot more comfortable and a lot more mobile if things start to fall apart, okay? So this is a Blackhawk and this is a Mira Safety, just like all this other stuff. They make everything for gas masks. They are awesome. Check out their company. I think it's just mirasafety.com, but if you just search that, you'll find it. Everything they make is high quality from what I can tell so far, and it's all geared towards, being protected and having tactical application. A lot of their gas masks, they have like a bug eye style one. It's the CM7M, I believe, and it is actually geared and specifically designed so that you can utilize optics while wearing the mask. So that's another option that they made that's definitely worth it. Now, drop leg holster, why wouldn't you want that for a gas mask? Everybody wants that. But the most important thing when it comes to PPE and wearing a gas mask, and I know somebody's already said something about, I know you did. You know who you are. Yeah, you do. You gotta shave, man. You gotta shave. You better have some shaving cream, or maybe you go like Bill Dukes off a Predator and you just go straight water on the face with sweat and a Bic razor. Either way, you're gonna have to shave that beard. You can't have facial hair and wear a gas mask properly. You will not get a seal and you will die from nerve gas, okay? Look, I have a beard. I know this. I know that I'm gonna have to shave the crap out of this thing if I ever find myself needing a gas mask. And I'm totally fine with that. As of right now, I still have a beard. Yes. Is that a risk? It is. Is it one I'm willing to take? According to my wife, yes. So, that being said, honestly, like, be prepared to have to shave that beard off and shave regularly to maintain a proper seal if need be. You need to have razors and you need to have a lot set aside so that way, if you need to get a clean shave, you're able to, and you need to maintain it during any period of time where wearing any of this stuff is actually sensible and where it actually comes into play and where you actually have to do it. I know somebody is gonna make a Jurassic Park joke, and I don't care because that's awesome. But what I do wanna say is that I am aware you need to shave, and you need to be aware of it too. Don't think you can just buy gas masks and have a gigantic beard and just throw the gas mask on and be good to go. It will not work properly. So you have to be prepared and in the mindset that this might have to go. And that's okay, because you know what? This will probably go, and this will probably go if things really go that route. And trust me, I have more than one way to cut all the hair off my face, maybe my entire body, if need be, okay? You never know. If you got to blend in with lizard people or something, I've thought about it. It's fine. So this is what I wanted to talk about, okay? Awesome, awesome PPE gear that will actually protect you. It's not a piece of paper. It is not a diaper. It is butyl. Don't forget that. Butyl. That's what you need when it comes to rubber in the sense of seals on gas masks. When it comes to your gloves, you need better material, okay? And this is what I invested in at the beginning of the year. And finally, after shipping delays and finding little bits and pieces here and there, I was able to put this kit together. And there's still a couple things that I'd like to see. There's still 2 filters out there in the universe, guy. But either way, great place to start. And it's something that makes me feel comfortable and gives me peace of mind knowing that if I ever need this stuff, which I seriously hope I don't, but if I ever do, I have it and it's quality gear that will not get me killed unless I do something wrong, like not shaving. So, wanted to share this with you. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to test out the gear, wear it, try it out, see what happens. And I wanted to give you my 2 cents onto what I put together in the sense of actual SHTF CBRN gear kit. So that way I'm ready to go if one of these things happens. And then if you have any questions about any of the gear here, comment below, let me know. I'll leave links below too so you guys can check it out. Like I said, CanadianPreparedness.com. I got both of these masks there because he had large in this that I wanted. He had small in this that I wanted. He had these filters as well. So honestly, if I can support other people on this platform, I will. Especially better than giving your money to Amazon, right? Trust me, I know, everybody says it. What I'm saying is it's hard to find these things, so you're gonna have to look a little bit harder sometimes. But anything else you have, leave it in the comments. Let me know what your CBRN SHTF kit looks like. And without anything else to say about everything you saw here today, that's gonna be it for Magic Prepper.